Direct from Foxborough, Massachusetts, the gem of Norfolk County, and taped at the studios of Foxborough Cable Access. It's Foxborough Central. And here's your host, Bob Hickey.
And welcome to another fantastic episode of Foxborough Central. I am Bob Hickey, your host, and I want to thank you for taking the time to join me and my guests as we talk about the people, events, and organizations that make Foxborough truly the gem of Norfolk County. Perhaps you've noticed something a little different here in that I don't get to sit. Why is that? Because I'm surrounded by fantastic volunteers. As you know, I've often said that Foxborough is built on the back of her volunteers, and nothing could be more true than of that wonderful little place that we've all driven by probably on a daily basis, but some of us don't even realize what it is. Of course, I'm talking about the Foxborough Farm Stand on the corner of Walnut and Central Streets. It's commercial actually by that point, isn't it?
Yes.
See how bad I am at this. Walnut and Commercial Streets, and it is a wonderful place where the community comes together to, well, feed us because we live in Foxborough. So let's learn about it. I'm going to start off to my right, your left, Rachel Calabrese. Rachel, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So Rachel, tell me in a nutshell what the Foxborough Farm Stand is and why we should care.
There's so many parts to it, but the farm stand started about a century ago, and it was the Vanderboom family, Whitney, Whitey, sorry. And so what happened is
Well, he's going to be really offended if you say he's 100 years old.
Yeah, no, I guess not. And well, it started quite some time ago, and it meant to have fresh produce and fruits and vegetables for Foxborough people, for community people. Okay. So they started selling at that point, and I think it was for, if I'm not mistaken, the state hospital here. A lot of the patients would come down and work, absolutely, and then and it was to help feed some of the patients there as well. And it's grown obviously over the years. It's a completely volunteer organization. Every shift is from a volunteer, and it's open every day from 7 days a week from 10 to 6. And all of the profits produced are given over to the Foxborough Discretionary Fund.
Fantastic. So me being relatively new to town, it was always part of it. And I remember, of course, back in the day, it was run by the Knights of Columbus out of St. Mary's Church, and that has since transitioned to an all-volunteer effort for community volunteers.
Right.
So joining us is another one of our phenomenal community volunteers. Of course, Connie Gonzalez. Connie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So how did you get wrapped up in this?
In the beginning, I was asked to volunteer once a week with our Sun Scout group. And from there, it grew and grew and grew. And as my boys got older, each of them started volunteering, and I started volunteering more. My husband volunteers, and now it's a family affair.
Well, partly family affair, but also partly from a leadership standpoint, you've actually taken over the publicity piece with the Facebook page, correct?
I have. We have a Facebook page that keeps anyone in town or anyone interested up to date with activities going on at the farm stand, the local produce that is in fresh, what's on sale this week. We will post recipes, and it just lets people know what's happening down there.
Fantastic, and of course, you did not create the address because I've been making fun of it, but it's a phenomenal. I need my notes for this one because it is very long. Feeding Foxborough Community Farm Stand. Did I get that right?
You did.
Fantastic. So 35 letters, but what it really means is just start typing it on Facebook. It'll pop up. It's not that difficult. I'm being funny. The important thing, though, is that if you want to volunteer, which is why we're here, because the farm stand is open for the months of July, August, and September of every year. It's run, as you say, all by volunteers. It's a volunteer effort. It's not government run. It's not sponsored by a major store. This is all fresh produce, and it's in and out very quickly. So people should shop, but also people should volunteer.
Absolutely. There's always room for another volunteer. We were in dire straits earlier this year when we first opened, and as wonderful as Foxborough is, people have stepped up dramatically, but there are still lots of slots that could be filled. You don't have to have any experience. You will be shown what to do, and it's fun, and you never know who you're going to be volunteering with and who's going to pop in to buy vegetables from you. So chances are you're going to run into somebody you know, or maybe somebody you haven't seen in a long time, and it's like old home week.
There you go. And I don't have to shuck corn, do I?
You do not.
Okay, I like doing that, but not at the farm stand. So that brings up a good point. The last time we had folks in from the farm stand on this program, it was to celebrate the erection of the permanent structure there, because before, as we know, there used to be the trailer that would be, it was mobile, would come in and go out, and then it became a more permanent thing. So, speaking from a user standpoint, always love going there and buying. From a volunteer standpoint, I'm sure that there's always need for more volunteers. Where do you think we could find some volunteers to talk to? Think we could find any? Oh, hey. So I am here, and I'm very happy to introduce you to the family Stonis. We have Garrett. Garrett, welcome to our program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And why are you sitting here?
I'm sitting here because I volunteer at the farm stand.
And your mother volunteered you to come in and talk to me.
Of course, yes.
But more importantly, it's a great way to show how people of all ages can participate and become a part of the solution. And have fun a little bit at a time. You have fun?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No.
Okay. Before I hold Emerson to that, I'm going to introduce her. Of course, Emerson, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And then your sister Tinley. Thank you so much. Now, you. How many hours a week do you volunteer?
We volunteer for 2 hours usually.
Okay. So you don't have to make a huge time commitment. It's not a matter of spending 5 nights a week there, giving up your social life, letting the children and the animals starve at home because you're out there working at the farm stand. No?
No.
Okay, good. See, she's working with me on this, folks. This is great. This is good stuff. So which would you rather be doing, working at the farm stand or catching Pokemon?
I don't really play Pokemon.
I
so-
like you a lot. All right, my new favorite guest is Tinley. So, Tinley, when did you start volunteering there?
I started volunteering about 2 years ago.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so you've been doing that for 2 years. Have you
Yes.
You come as a unit, a family unit.
Yep.
Fantastic. And how did you find out about it?
My friend's family actually was a good part of the administration of the farm stand a while back. It was the Goronsky family, and
Sure.
I'm good friends with their son. So when we sort of introduced each other and like our families, and after that it was really the rest is history. We just started working there because the mother of the Goronsky, Mrs. Goronsky, she was very polite, and she wanted us to. She said it would be very good for us, a family activity to do, so we did.
Was she right?
Yes, she was that right.
And then the secret to any volunteer effort is to be asked, right? Because nobody ever volunteers without some push-pull. And so the push here is to be asking, and that's what we're doing to you today, is asking you to volunteer, right?
Yep. Yep.
Why should people volunteer? What do you get out of this?
It's a really good way to meet new people, and it's actually really fun. I really enjoy volunteering, and it also helps the community as well. So.
Great. Now, you are at, what school do you go to?
I actually just graduated Foxborough High School.
Congratulations. And you're going somewhere in the fall?
Yes, I'm going to Wentworth Institute of Technology.
Congratulations. Very good. And you, I see, are in the marching
Yes.
band. Proud member, I imagine. What instrument do you play?
I play the clarinet.
Okay, then. I like the clarinet. I've got 2, and I can't play either one of them. So, do you play well?
Yeah.
Do you play down at the farm stand?
I don't.
If people come down to the farm stand and they offer to pay twice the amount of money for the corn that it's worth, we pull out the clarinet?
I just might. Yeah.
You just might. You heard it here first, folks. We have Emerson on clarinet, and I don't suppose you play tenor sax, do you?
No.
No. And what do you do for fun, aside from working at the farm stand?
I usually watch TV or go outside if it's sunny.
Okay. So then the farm stand is really your conduit to America. If it wasn't for the farm stand, you'd be hidden away and we would never see you until you pop out at 19 and say, hey, here I am, right? So if you want to see a Tinley, you got to go to the farm stand because you won't see her anywhere else. Speaking of seeing people everywhere, I always see you everywhere, Rachel Calabrese, at the Foxborough Recreation Department and other places around town.
Yes.
You seem to have your fingers in every piece of pie, and this piece of pie can be made with pie because you've got materials down at the farm stand to make pie with, don't we?
We do. I don't know how to make pie.
Yeah, well,
But,
I know how to eat pie.
Yeah, I do too.
So is it just corn down at the farm stand, or are there
No.
variety? And I imagine it's seasonal, so let's talk about the ebb and flow of life. What happens in July and then what happens in September?
Okay. So I think Earl's wonderful tomatoes are not totally done just yet.
Not quite yet,
Yeah.
but right now, Earl's yellow squash, zucchini squash, and lettuce are fresh every single morning out of the garden, right in the back field.
Right.
Mr. Ferguson we're referring to? See, I'm a young feller, so he's Mr. Ferguson to me.
He's,
Well, he's been doing that labor of love for so many years.
He has a long time.
he has.
So if we have any message to send out, it's twofold. It is one, volunteer, be part of the solution, be part of your community. It's a great way to meet people, right? The Stonis family says so, so how could it be wrong? And more importantly, it's also a great way to fund the Foxborough Discretionary Fund because all profits go to right back into the community through that worthy cause, correct? So tell us about some of the donation history. Is the Foxborough, is it $5 that we're giving them, or is it a healthy contribution?
It's
Makes a
definitely
difference?
a healthy contribution.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much that's donated to the Foxborough Discretionary Fund, but also there's just so many things that people don't think about. Like there's the families of the Foxborough Discretionary Fund get vouchers to come down and buy fresh fruits and vegetables. And then some fruits and vegetables are given to the schools.
Yep.
So there's just a lot of different things that the farm stand does that nobody knows about. And so it's a constant give back to the community.
Yes.
Well, hopefully people know a little bit more about it now, so I'm going to read out the good information one more time. If you want to participate, become a volunteer, or learn about the schedule, learn about the hours, learn if they've got fresh summer squash this week. I assume you have fresh summer squash. There's always fresh summer squash. You should log on to Facebook. Become a friend of theirs at, I'm going to look at my notes again, Feeding Foxborough Community Farm Stand Facebook.
Yes.
Not .com.
No,
There's
Facebook.
no .com.
No,
Facebook.
Facebook.
You can be their friend, and on that site, there's information on how to donate, how to contribute, how to become a volunteer, how to get yourself scheduled in. I understand it's fairly easy.
It is. It's a sign-up genius. Laurie Bubenzik here in town runs all the volunteers, fills all the shifts. You can sign up through Sign Up Genius or just contact her directly.
And the important thing is that if any of this is confusing to you, just stop by the farm stand. Do you know where it's at? Where is it? I love putting people on the spot. It's down on, I already screwed this up, that's why I'm not saying that. It's on the intersection of Walnut and Commercial, right? And that's a fantastic intersection for those of you who care to know. So be careful getting in and getting out. But the key thing is that the farm stand has plenty of parking. It's a nice place to come visit. It's easy to get into and get out of.
Yep.
So tell me, how do you volunteer? Do you have to sign up ahead of time? Do you just show up and whistle? What do you do?
I believe my mom signed us up ahead of time, and then we were told when to come in.
Very
and then
good.
when we do go, we just do what we signed up for, basically.
Super. So it's a schedule, and it's an expectation that people who are volunteering participate and know what they're doing, and that all training is available to them. So nobody should be afraid, Connie.
No.
Is that what you're
and
saying?
It's usually a
Nobody
2-hour.
should be afraid.
Absolutely. Nothing to be afraid of. Nothing but fun at the farm stand. So you can sign up for an early shift, a late shift, a picking shift, whatever you feel comfortable with.
And if you call ahead, maybe Emerson will bring her clarinet.
There you go.
There you go. All right, Garrett, I'm going to give you almost the last word because traditionally on this program, we give the person who has the most to say something to say.
Okay.
So we're going to give you the last word. What is it?
Okay. The last word is come and join the fun at the family farm stand.
I could not have said it better myself. Thank you so much for joining us, Foxborough, and we hope to see you down at the Family Community Farm Stand, of course. To find out more, check them out on Facebook or just stop by. Bring some money, buy something good, and support your local community. They're all volunteers, as are we here at Foxborough Cable Access. I'd like to thank my volunteers, Betty Travers, Deb Storrs, Paul Beck behind the glass, and of course Jillian Larson, who puts all the beautiful graphics together. Michael Weber, our executive director, and Lauren Bertar, who actually gets us on the air. If you'd like to volunteer here at Foxborough Cable Access, you know how to stop by the community farm stand. You can also stop by our offices here. Our studio is at 28 Central Street in beautiful downtown Foxborough, Massachusetts, that gem of Norfolk County. Speaking of gems, we're out of time. Have a great day, Foxborough. Take care.